Welcome to Circle of Kings. Have you ever wondered why the dating game has changed so much over the years? Have you realized why men are slowly moving away from dating entirely? Why is it that men won't approach women anymore? Women have been wondering ever since this started to take place, and I guess are still wondering why. Let's break it down. The dating game has gone through transformational changes over the decades. The era we now live in has changed significantly from how society and culture were 7 or 8 decades ago. When I think about these developments, one thing stands out to me in particular. Why are males approaching women differently now than they used to? What took place during this period? Men chase women around and make idiots of themselves, but do they really want to be with them? No matter how far away from you a woman was, there was no quick way to get in touch with her before social media, smartphones, and the internet. As there was no other way to interact with women back then, males would physically approach them to show that they were interested in them. Back then, it took a great deal of effort. Even then, men were expected to do everything. It was easy and, I guess, a little more exciting. Since you didn't have the option of looking her up on social media, you probably had an image of the person in your head that you saw and liked. And that's what prompted guys to approach the woman face to face and ask for a date. Since that was the way things were back then, most people used to date inside their own groups. The distance was a real issue before, but not now. Today, you may have a live online conversation with anyone, anywhere around the world. Hence, both men and women did not have access to such luxury in the past. These luxuries certainly allow people to spend less time and money on socializing and going on dates, but they also lessen the authenticity of such interactions. It was serious business back then. There was little interaction. Before getting married, men had a maximum of 2 opportunities to meet and get to know women. Because they had no other choice, men had no choice but to approach women. And for this reason, I believe that the level of chemistry, connection, and mutual understanding was much higher than it is now. On social media, a person seeking you could also like you and find you attractive. But at the same time, they may also like and find attractive 10 other people on the same scale. They would have half-hearted conversations online, and even during dating, they'd still be engrossed in their phones trying to get the perfect click for the gram or speaking on a group chat. I mean, we are super connected now as compared to before, yet we are disconnected from each other on so many levels. Why then do guys not approach women anymore? I believe the reason is that males typically weigh the advantages and disadvantages of any decision before acting. The disadvantages of approaching women today outweigh the advantages by a wide margin. Today, approaching women nearly always results in rejection, being called a creep, or just being ignored and shunned by society. Why? Because most males are perceived by women as predators or desperate men. They will be fine if they already know a guy and want him to contact them. But that is another matter. Yet it is simply not worthwhile for a male to approach an unidentified woman. Too many risks exist. The universal fear of rejection, utter illiteracy, and social humiliation just seem too dangerous. If a male approached a lady respectfully to start a conversation, she would likely embarrass him more often than not. In a video I saw, a man makes an absolute mess of himself by trying to talk to a woman without being rude or odd. After faking the claim that the contact was a weirdo, the woman posted the contact to social media for a good laugh and perhaps a shot at becoming viral. I found myself thinking about why in the world I would want to approach a lady today as I saw this happen. To understand why this is happening, we also need to understand that different women treat different guys in different ways. If a woman believes that a guy is superior to her, she would treat him with respect and be more accepting of him. Take a look at how a lady and her employer interact. Now imagine whom she'd treat with respect if they approached her, the boss or the janitor. It's very clear that contemporary women no longer respect men, and I believe that the majority of guys have realized this and have chosen not to engage in conversation with these women. Today, men have decided just not to indulge in any behavior that allows women to disrespect and invalidate them. Women's behavior towards men has just gone down the drain, and men have realized this. They have chosen their reputation, integrity, and respect over the disrespect and humiliation extended by women towards them. Truly, I'd be much better off avoiding women because, I promise, I've heard tales of girls harassing men who then called the cops. Apparently, there was nothing wrong with the men. They just didn't suit their ideal profile in the areas of appearance and wealth. Why then would I or anyone else subject themselves to anything like this? It is not logical. Also, I believe that a significant portion of women is simply no longer worth approaching. I believe women desire men's validation in public so they may flaunt it in their circles, embarrass the man, and feel validated, something she lacks in every aspect of her life. Can one even approach modern women? People will opt not to approach you after taking one glance at you, much less strike up a discussion if you don't make yourself seem approachable if you want to be approached. Also, modern women present themselves in public as though they were royalty. Another reason why men don't approach women anymore is how women behave in public. They are just not very approachable in the sense that they give off a vibe that says, "Don't bother me." I mean, if a guy had a really angry expression all the time that basically said, "Do not come near me," would any woman approach that guy? Not at all. The same thing applies to women in public and private settings. If a man sees a woman he likes and wants to start a conversation with, and she looks cold and closed off, he will assume she doesn't want to talk to anyone, and he wouldn't want to approach that woman. That is how important smiling and looking inviting with open body language is. But modern women don't care and aren't willing to change that, and you can't even talk to them about it because they get offended so easily. The result is that whenever men see women they like, even if they want to approach them, women's body language and attitude make men want to stay away. Women then gripe that males no longer approach them. Ladies, if you want people to approach you, at the very least, work on your appearance to make it nicer and friendlier. You don't always have to appear as though you're about to explode in rage. Otherwise, even if you want guys to approach you, they would just ignore you. Guys simply have had it with women's constant whining and unreasonable expectations. Women don't desire unattractive males. Women continue to cheat on men despite having everything they want. Guys are now beginning to wake up and understand everything. They have no time to spend caring about ladies who are pointless to contact. Women don't seem to be aware of how unfair the game is for men in general. They want what they want. Also, men will stop tolerating women's unwelcoming behavior. Men will therefore simply enjoy their own company, avoid pointless activities, and contentedly follow their interests. They are better off engaging with women online to determine whom they can spend their time with, because they have more possibilities now. They have greater power and options. Why do you think men won't approach women anymore? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching Circle of Kings. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel by pressing the bell icon.